All right, hi. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Excel to make some depreciation tables, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a straight line depreciation method. I said table, but really this is a model. The idea is that you should be able to use this for pretty much anything you want to use it for. And if you're good at Excel or not good at Excel, if you follow this, you should be fine, okay? My stuff's over here. The camera's here, so I'll be looking off as I type this. Oh, I guess I could just, no, I can't because I'm sharing that screen. Anyway, all right, so let's go ahead and start this up. We're going to do the straight, TRAIGH, straight line depreciation method, all right? So let's go ahead and come up with an asset cost, and we're going to say 50,000. Salvage value is 10,000. Useful life, we'll say, is 10 years. Oops, let's do 10 years. Now, there's a reason why I don't put years in the same number, because I want to be able to use that 10 to calculate. And if I put years in there, it'll become a text cell and it'll mess it up. So you don't want to do that. Units expected to be produced. Okay. Now I'm going to come over here to this A column and see how my cursor kind of does this. I'm going to double click that to make it wider so that I can see. I'm actually going to bring it back a little bit so I can see this. And I'm going to kind of just highlight this, merge it, make it a little bigger, bold it, just so that I know that this one's my straight line depreciation method. I am a little, how many units do we expect to be? Let's go 250,000. Okay, so I'm going to make these dollars because that's what those are. And I'm going to turn this into a number. See, I'm using these little special doohickeys and I'm reducing the zeros. I don't care about the 2 zeros. If it gets into the change, we're dealing with numbers here that I really don't care if it's 32 cents or not. So this is the information I'm going to go with on all three of these examples. This is the straight line depreciation method. You can also come down here and rename this STRA. I hope I'm spelling that right. Straight line. I'm going to put straight line here. So here's our information that we really need here. So I'm going to set this up just like in the book because I want it to be familiar to you. You can set it up in other ways. It's not a big deal here. But let's go here to beginning balance, and then year 1, year 2, I want it capitalized. And once I do that, I can just highlight both of those with my mouse, or as I did here, I hold shift and then highlighted them with the cursor. Come down to that lower right-hand corner where it turns into a plus, and I can drag it down to whatever number of years. I can go all the way to 23 if I want, okay? It doesn't matter to me. Then here we're going to go depreciable cost. And then here we're going to go to depreciation rate, and then depreciation expense, and then accumulated depreciation, and then book value. All right, and then we're going to go over here. We're going to highlight these columns. I'm going to go like this. It's going to make them bigger for now, but I want to wrap these. So just trying to make it look professional and look good, okay? So now I'm dropping off that second word. I'm just showing that all you can see is depreciation, or in this case now accumulated. And then, book value is probably fine. Then come over here to where it turns into that little weird thingy, and then you're going to see them here. I like to have them centered. That's kind of how I like it. In fact, actually, I did this I was supposed to give me some room there. So I'm cutting and pasting this so that it's down one. I could have inserted one cell and move it all down. Didn't matter. It's just me formatting this table, okay? So our beginning value, or our book value here, we're going to start off here with our total value is our asset cost minus our accumulated depreciation. So right now our book value is 50,000 is our beginning balance. All right, so what's our depreciable cost? Well, our depreciable cost, and you saw what I did here. This is cell referencing. I clicked equals, and I went up here and I clicked C2, or you can type C2 in. Either way, and it's going to reference that cell. It's important for later. Let me show you why. So year 1, we are going to have our depreciable cost. So we're going to hit equals. We're going to select C2, and we're going to subtract out C3. This is taking our cost minus our salvage value. Now, we only want to do that once for straight line depreciation method. So I'm going to click equals and then highlight that cell I just did that calculation in. It's going to give me that same number. And I'm going to take this, go to that corner again, and I'm going to drag it all the way down. But Brian, it's only a 10-year useful life. Don't worry, trust me on this, okay? Building a model. We're not just trying to answer this question. What's our depreciation rate? Well, our depreciation rate is really simple. We take 1 divided by whatever number of years we're dealing with. So we're going to take 1 divided by C4, which is the useful life is 10. And so it's our rate is going to be 10%. So we're going to do the same thing we just did over there, and we're going to drag this down, okay? Now, what is our depreciation expense? Very simple. Take our depreciable cost, and we multiply it by our depreciation rate. So our depreciation expense is $4,000. Drag that down. Accumulated depreciation is going to be a little different. Our first one here in G10, we're going to click equals, and it's going to be our first year. It's just going to be whatever our depreciation expense was. That's it. Then we're going to click equals, and we're going to go add G10 to our current year depreciation expense. And so that's our accumulated depreciation for year 2. Now, when we come down here, we're going to drag this down all the way, okay? Don't worry, again, we're building a model, so don't stress this. So what is our book value? Our book value is always going to be our book value minus our accumulated depreciation. We don't want this to change when we move this down, so we're going to come in here in between the H and the 9, and we're going to put a $sign in there. What that does is it locks that 9 row. We could also put a $sign at the H, and it would lock the H and the 9. Whenever we do to manipulate this, we will never see that cell change. And we're going to drag it all the way down here, okay? So bottom line is now, all you got to do is go here using this model and find wherein does your book value equal your salvage value. Boom, look at that, year 10. This is your relevant range or your relevant table that you're looking for, okay? That's what you're looking for. And you've calculated all of the depreciation. I could ask you any question now. What in year 6, what was your accumulated depreciation or your book value? Boom, year 6, accumulated depreciation was $24,000, book value is $26,000. That's that fun, that easy, that simple, right? So I do it like this because what if we're going to do 23 years? Now where's our salvage value at? Year 23. That's why I build this model so that you can do any problem on it. Any problem you want on there. And you can calculate your straight line depreciation method. But Brian, we have 2 other depreciation methods. Well, that's true, we do. So let's go ahead. And I'm just going to copy and paste this over to this next one, just because it's going to be a little easier for me. I don't have to recreate or reinvent the wheel. We're going to change this to units of production depreciation method. All this stuff stays the same. Let's kick this back to 10 years. It's not going to matter, though, because we're going to deal with the number of units that we produce, all right? So what I got to do now is I got to change some of these headers here to number of units and then the depreciation per unit, all right? We have 25,000 units over 10 years is our depreciation per unit. So we're going to take our 25,000 and we're going to divide that. Why do I'm suddenly second guessing myself, and that's not right. It's over. Sorry, we're taking. Sorry, sometimes or not some equals. We're taking our depreciable amount. Sorry, our depreciable amount. So we're going to take our cost minus salvage value and divide that by our expected number of units. My apologies. Okay. Technically, this isn't a percent anymore. It's a cents. And so we're going to just change the format on all of these. I do it just because I am that way. Okay, this is just how I roll. I got to have my units and everything right. So we're dealing with only 10 years right now. So I'm going to just, no, I'm not going to delete those, but we got to change these to numbers. So let's change this to 15,000. And these are number of units, so these aren't numbers. Do this and then kick it down. Let's say year 2 is 22,000. 25,000, 28,000. Yes, I did this beforehand. You caught me, and I have the list over here because I couldn't come up with this to make it work. Okay, and so now we got to delete all this. We do have to delete that because we're not going to need them anyway. And we're going to equals all of this because we want to know how many units we've depreciated. Look at that. All right, so when we do this, it's the same thing. Look, year 10, we've depreciated 10,000 because we depreciated, oops, let's just put over here, total units produced, okay? So we produced 25,000 units, all right? So my question and comment, if you watch the video of me lecturing on this, you'll see this. What if we did 18,000 here, okay? Look, now we're beyond the depreciable amount. What we have to do is we have to come over here and we have to manipulate our depreciation expense on this line only to come up with the amount. So we're going to take, we know our salvage value is 10,000. We see that we're over depreciating this. So all we got to do is take this and subtract out our salvage value, and it will get us to our depreciation amount that we should depreciate that year. But you got to remember you did that so that when you go back and do another problem, you fix it, because if all of a sudden this changes to 270,000, then we're going to have to come down here and we're going to have to do 18,000 again to get us to where it is. We're going to finish depreciating this in year 11 instead of year 10. Even though our useful life said 10 years, we depreciated it fully at year 11. Okay, so again, we're looking for models here. So let's go down here and we're going to rename this to units of production. And why don't I go up here instead of unites, we'll say units of production there. You know, a good habit to do here is to spell check this. Go up here, click review, spell check this sucker. We're good there. We're going to take this and we're going to use this for our double declining balance method. And I'm going to come over here and just check our spelling. But remember, unites is a correct word. So it would not catch unites if it did, and that is technically a misspelling. So please make sure you catch that. All right, so our double declining balance method, I really, really, really hate it. I really do. I truly do. We don't need units expected to be produced here. I'm just going to clear that out. So what we got to do for our depreciation rate is we're going to take whatever our, put parentheses there, and then we're going to take and we're going to multiply that by 2. That's basically all of the steps to get us to where we're at. The problem with this method is, first of all, I hate it. Second of all, you're going to depreciate this before you get to 10 years. It always happens. And you got to change the cell referencing to here. You can just do it once or twice. I did it twice. I didn't need to, but you come all the way down here. And look, we're going to depreciate it in year 8. We're going to finish depreciating it in year 8. Year 8's depreciation expense, we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to take our current minus our depreciation, or our salvage value, I mean. And so we're going to have fully depreciated this in year 8, because the accelerated depreciation method, because of how fast it is, unless you're dealing with only like years 1 through 5, you're going to depreciate this thing the full way before you get to its full year. It always happens every time. So anyway, that's how you build these models. It's really simple, and once you've built the first, you kind of built them all. You just got to change a few things, and then so we're gonna go up here and change this to, crap, what do they even call this one? I didn't even name it on my model that I previously created. So double declining balance, I guess. Double declining. We'll go with that. Rename to double declining. Okay, this is good, but this isn't professionally formatted. Go through, bold this stuff, make it look good if that's what you're going for. But bottom line is that's how you build these models. Really helpful, and it will help you in the long run. Trust me, you'll like it.